Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to an installment of... we didn't even bother to do the numbers. This is the gentleman that was built during the live stream. The thing that is not Canyon. IFS and trailing arms. So a pre-runner. We've built a pre-runner. And, I mean, y'all know me, man. We do things a specific way around here. So, much like the last gentleman, the Raptor build, which was built during a live stream, he has undergone some minor changes since then. As I mentioned in the live stream, I was going to just drill out the front bumper mount to fit the larger pins of the Red Cat bumper. There he is. Do I wish that I could get the body to sit down a little more? Sure, but that's full suspension. So at the same time, kind of no. I just wish that there was a little more grill hanging down. Basically, I think it's fine. It's not overwhelming. It's fine. No changes to spring rate, anything like that. But you will notice there's no black can on the motor because once I got him put together and I was centering the steering and making sure everything worked, we plopped him down on the floor in the workshop, and the 1200 was glacially slow. I would have had to gear it way, way, way up. So, in the nest of Fusions that I have, I had a Fusion 1800. And I thought I could put an 1800 in there. And I said, no, this is a pre-runner. If anything, this guy needs wheel speed that can combine with the ability to, let me make sure I've got it, with the ability to do this. So, I swapped motors out. Blackjack was previously fitted with this exact Hobbywing Fusion. I installed an 1800 in him, drove him around. I have a tree route outside, a massive tree route that I drive over. And honestly, he feels better on the 1800. So, I don't think there were any losers on the day. What I can tell from driving around on the shop and the just complete lack of deflection is that this guy at... I believe he was measured at 5.8 pounds. He has the other color, the gross kind of drab green versions of these, the non-Injoras. They would 100% have to be cut to work in him. They are way, way too firm. In the flat iron, I think because of the chunky, blocky nature of the flat iron, these feel overly firm. Like, they feel too stiff because he is sub 6 pounds. I have found that these, whether they be the Injora Blues or these in the pink/olive, 6.5 pounds and up, usually really right about 7.25 is where these are nailing it. And we're over a pound. We're 1.25 pounds below that because he's not rocking any amount of weight. If we were putting a hard body on him, I think these inserts would be the joint and the jam, but they're not. So we have plenty of wheel speed from the 2300. One would almost say double, like double. I went right in the middle on opinion. He's running a 19 tooth because I have not gotten him out onto open ground, so I don't know how fast he is. I did indeed make the side pieces. I did notice, I drilled the 2 holes in the hood, that the body sits on nice and perfectly level, cropped, narrowed the sides down, chopped the backs off. I just wanted to chop them right there because I also notched the body, put a notch in the body. That's all. That's the total amount for the drive shaft notch. I put that right there, and it makes it nice that it basically positions the body so that the body sits in a right spot. There is a little air gap on the sides, which I think the Velcro will tuck up nicely. But then, at the same time, I was also thinking maybe we could do some sort of overcomplicated... We have 2 pre-drilled holes, effectively. We can make some kind of a mount. I don't know. I haven't decided on the mount, so I haven't bothered to do any cutting or removal of material. I did take the cross brace. I had asked why Element doesn't include the cross brace. I just removed the cross brace because I had 2 5mm spacers. Just because it was looking, honestly, I removed it for cosmetics reasons. It was looking overly busy. And this is a BOSOA, battery on servo on axle mount. But because there was the pre-existing hole, it is bolted in the front and tape in the back. And I think it puts the battery in a pretty good spot. I worry that the weight bias is going to be off to that side, but I don't think it's going to be overwhelmingly critical one way or the other. And of course, it was all mounted, zip tied, everything was put together, and then I changed my mind about the motor and was like, he really needs a 2300. Was this close to putting an outrunner in it, but I kind of prefer the cleanliness of what's going on here. I can't tell if the springs are too firm or too soft. I don't know if the gearing is right. My assumption is that this insert is too firm for rock crawling, but we don't know yet. I have never. This is what we're going to have for the body, because I don't want to put any tape or anything inside the body, because I just want to paint it. It's going to be a fairly simple 2-color paint job. So we're gonna have some. I was trying to think, like, how could I? What I should have done. What I should have done is, let's clip this to the sway bar. We'll go like this. Boom. There it is. And it looks right at home. Yeah, we look like a compy boy now. There we go. So now it's perfect. It's all we need. So I am cautiously optimistic about the performance. I am skeptical about the tires. So we're going to overcompensate. I had to limit myself to a number, because I don't know if we'll test them all. These were previously fitted to another vehicle. These are Injora Blues inside S1 Canyon Trails, same exact offset that he's running now. Duratrax Deep Woods on squid inserts. These, I feel, would be, these might be a little over firm for his weight as well. Same exact offset, a little bit more weight in that combo, as those are Hot Storms. Identical Injoras to those. Swamp Claws on Injora Green silicone inserts. This might be the insert that he likes at that sub 6 pound range. J Concepts 19 Ruptures on deep offset, so a little bit wider, on stock single stage foams. A Rupture on a stock foam is really grabs. And I don't know if we'll get to them, but deep offset 2-2 Canyon Trails. These are Clank's wheels and tires and inserts. And Clank is pretty close to this guy in weight. Clank is a tiny bit heavier, so that might work. It's to the point where we've got to take the... Ordinarily, we have the tiny tool bag. We've got to take the big tool bag. I don't know how many sets we're going to get through. I could be one of these. Oh, man, when you pick the ones up that have the Injora inserts, 70 grams per insert. And, of course, we do not organize. We just dump them in a sack. I could be completely wrong. I would love to be completely wrong and not have to test a bunch of tires, because I feel like standing here inside the building right now, it's so full I can't even zip it. I feel like no matter what happens, I'm going to have to unmount these wheels and tires from here. Whether it be to cut the silicone, whether it be to swap it to a softer insert, whether it be to change the tires. I want to stick with these wheels because I love the look of these wheels, and we can change the offset simply by changing a hub. I think they're going to be too firm, but I have definitely been wrong before. In any case, by any consideration, we have a bunch of tires to test, and there are more. There are definitely more on the rack, but I told myself this is how many you're going to test, or here are your maximum number of potential options. So this is the Ghost Ride. As I had said during the live stream, I want to see, will it turn at speed and will it crawl a rock? Those are the two qualifications. Even if it doesn't do either of them particularly well, turn at speed and crawl a rock. Let's see how many tire changes it takes for us to achieve that. I will say he is quiet. He's very quiet. Okay, all right. Okay. Oh, get it. Get it. Oh, that is too firm of an insert. Oh, look at, oh. You have no idea. No one, okay. Someone might have an idea of how much better that is than I thought it could possibly have been. Steering, what we gleaned from the drive back, steering is so fast. Okay, yeah, this behaves so differently to anything else, and I expected it to, but I didn't know what the expectation was. I love driving out of frame. Oh, the descending, which cannot be seen. The descending feels really good. So where we're at with springing will make itself known soon enough. I said it, I hearken back. I said it in the live stream. I kind of hoped for something between linked and leaf. And this is definitely that. You're going to get that three-wheel motion, front and rear. But because the rear has quite a lot of droop to it. Woo! Stand up. Oh, yeah. Oh. I wanted flat irons on this, and from this little bit right here, look how fluid this is across here. I think we might end up on the flat irons. They're just too firm. They're just too firm. And I say that now, again, hubristically, because I haven't seen any other tires. There's a giant bag of tires right behind me. I have no idea how any of those will do. The descending is, of all the things that have taken me by surprise with this little fella. I just got IFS'd hard. I think the descending might be the most surprising. I don't know why I thought it was going to be. Look at, we're getting the three-wheel there. I mean, there's a lot to like here. It is a wildly different experience. Get it, get it, get it. That tire's up, isn't it? We're doing the three-wheel right now. We'll fall back there. We've definitely got wheel speed to throw at it. Oh, get it, get it, get it, get it. I've gone through a little bit of water on a rear. It's a little slidey. It is so surprisingly good. And of course, we've got Fusion Pro drag brake, which is the electronic anchor. And I hope that Fusion Pro translates to open ground speed. Oh, I think it's going to. I didn't really goose it up on the drive back. I was taking it pretty gingerly to get an idea of what the... I wanted to see the steering. The steering response. So we don't have that same amount of steering angle, but we do have, like... It makes this servo feel like lightning. Like it feels almost too fast. Yeah, I'm completely on board right now. It might change. I don't know. Stated for my own, stated to myself as much as anyone else, how did it take me this many ghost rides to think of the recovery strap thing, the kinetic line to hold the body on? This is the idea to build this was not to be too back patty, but I love that I thought of it. Strapping the body down is even better. We're definitely in between the wheelbase there. Can he hop it up? Yeah, I feel like this is a guy we're going to have to use a little more wheel speed to get jobs done than on a conventional, something linked. Whoa! Oh, no! Okay, we are. Okay, that's, again, it is a day of firsts. I've never been stuck right there before. There's a tippiness that I don't think has anything to do with the setup as it sits, and has everything to do with the fact that he's 9 inches wide from outside to outside. 9-inch track is skinny. That a 10-inch track where we ordinarily operate, I think would feel very different than this. And that insert is too firm by 20%. It's 20% too firm. I think I would have to cut every third rib out, maybe, to get it close to where this guy wants to be. Watching the suspension on this, IFS plus trailing arm, look at that. The suspension feels superb. We landed on some, well, okay. I'm fine with him being this narrow, honestly. That stability, we will learn to work within the confines of that stability. And I think the swabber is going to help us with that. Oh, I can't see well enough. Maybe I can attack this one. Yeah, it is, oh man. No, I'm liking it more and more. It is definitely something that exists between linked and leafed. It's a halfway point. If you like 3-wheel motion, this might be your guy. Look at this. Use your narrowness right through. That's not an easy get through. And I don't want to give it too much pepper down the other side. The puddle that never leaves is down there. Side hill turning at speed. He's unscaled, aside from that weight guesstimator where we threw it on there and got about 5.8 pounds. Ooh, 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 ooh. So light. It was so light on the high side. Ooh. Yeah, you will you will spend a lot of time 3-wheeling. This thing is fun, and I haven't even tried to make it go fast yet. Ooh. Ooh. It's so light. It's so unbelievably light. I think the stiffness of the insert tire combo right now is just what's keeping it on the side hill. If I turn up, we're gonna flop out. Okay, we'll try the high approach here. See if we can get up. Whoopee! When he falls weird. This is learning a new language a little bit, or at least this is learning a dialect. Yeah, this thing is it's a little all over the place. The suspension is so plush, but obviously the flex numbers aren't going to be in the same area code as live axle, as 4-link. But it is It is tremendously rewarding. There's going to be some tweaks. Okay, let's see it go fast-ish. I don't know if it has a shape. If it does, it is really easy to get it out of that shape. All right, let's see what we're working with. Top speed's pretty okay. As I said, 19 tooth pinion. Yeah. If I had ever seen a moment where I felt like a sway bar was working, it is right there. Yeah. If you build yourself something like this, IFS and trailing arm, the sway bar is mandatory. I can feel it keeping that rear end flat. This would just traction roll like crazy. You got to get dumb. It won't just flip on you making a turn. I can actually see the little spot where I hit some greenery. This is another one of those situations. I think, speculation, I think its ability to rock crawl is his heart. I think it's an 18% underdrive Stealth XF. I think that's what we would love, a 2-speed, right? Because then we could go stupid fast out in the open and real slow on the rock. The heart again. The other part of the, so we have the, what is it? We've got the two halves, the aorta. Anyway, we have the two valves of the heart, the two halves of the heart, the input and the output. The input being the Fusion Pro, which is really enabling us to do that. And then we have the Stealth XF with the 18%, keeping the motor weight relatively low, keeping all the weight relatively low, being very smooth and very quiet. That's what's giving us the ability to crawl rocks. If we wanted to go faster, I think the drag brake and whatnot are at stock levels, are at the default levels, and I think we could go up in pinion for sure. I could run a 22 or a 24 in there, and I think it would be fine temperature-wise, and I think it would still have a nice low creep. We might have to dial the drag brake a little. We might be testing the limits of what the Fusion Pro can actually do in terms of putting too big of a pinion on it. Because I don't know, I feel like I'd be okay with a little more speed. Yeah, and then like this stuff right here, the steering is so quick. Like you can really, he'll just, yeah, you give it, ooh, he's a self-righting boy. Oh, the sway bar, right. The sway bar keeps the rear end from jacking around. Yeah. Super predictable on flat ground and uneven ground, and far better at rock crawling than I would have anticipated. I'm kind of blown away by it. The missing link, this gentleman, he did so good. First time out, Ghost Ride, this is stellar stuff. As I think I had my expectations geared correctly. I knew this wasn't going to be some sort of rock dominator, so it did better than I thought. I thought it might be, I didn't think the speed was going to be perfect, so I was ready for that. I mean, this is a 2300. Yeah, it's fast for a rock crawler, but it is not unmanageably fast. You could spend all day and keep this thing on all fours. It wouldn't be a problem. I love the flat irons. I love those wheels. I think the inserts are just a little bit too stiff, but we do have a big bag over there. So we, at the very least, and we're going to be as unscientific about it as possible. We're going to grab I'm going to stick my hand in the bag, and whatever tire I get, I'm going to grab 3 more of those. And then we're just going to go wherever. We're not going to test them on the same things. That would be too much like science. And today, I don't feel like science. That was genuinely problematic because I know what tires feel like. So I had to stick my hand in the bag and go, and then one kind of went in between these 2 fingers and I kind of knuckled it out. The choice made by the bag, Deep Woods. And of course, they look great. The 8-hole wheels look great. These are squid inserts. Oh, buddy. So I said that these felt a little over firm on the bench. I maintain that, but they are much closer. Much closer. I thought, here's one for the record books. I thought for sure the clearance in the front was going to be more perceptible. But it really is not. We have very limited flex, front and rear, relative to, something longer travel. This has 90 millimeter shocks in the rear and the same shocks in the front, but on +9 rod ends with limiters. So it's there's a big external limiter, and I think that limiter is on there to keep the dog bone from destroying the output cups. So I rebuilt these shocks exactly the way they came out. Look at that. I'm just gonna say it. It's so much better than I thought it would be at all the things. Open ground, rock crawling is far better. Now, every cutting edge has the opportunity to cut you. So that opportunity to cut you here is, I think, brought about by the fact that the insert choice, the tire and insert choice, maybe not the tire. Maybe the tire isn't as critical, but the insert in that tire, I feel, is more critical for this than any other build. Like, this insert is very close, much closer than the Fonda. That's what they were, Famondas, non-Injora. But I can cut those non-Injoras to get them softer. I think it needs softer. You know what? I just want to go straight to speed on these. Side hill stability is better than I would have anticipated. There's nowhere I can put a camera to twofer. There just isn't. This honestly might be a guy that needs some steering expo. My other thought was there's no spot. There are spots where I can rock crawl and go fast in the same shot. There's no spot where I can do big side hill and flat ground in the same shot. Not with the placement of this. Yeah. See, 3D printed is, as of now, of what is available to us, it is the most superior option. But these are inserts printed specifically for Deep Woods, but they were also printed for a 7-pound vehicle. So they're for something that's about 1 pound heavier. And that is the problem of the 3D printed insert. This wheel tire combo would be literally quite perfect on him if he weighed another pound. I don't see him gaining any more weight other than 2 pieces of Velcro. Any weight that he might add would be unsprung. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's so much closer. Look at the flatness here. It's like it's trying to transfer and lift over. Can I keep it down? Yeah, they're still too firm, but there is a predictability that was the flat irons because of the insert, I don't think because of the tire. Yeah, that was so good through there. So yeah, in the transitional portion, it's not going to do well. It's not the perfect insert tire combo. So seeing as we started here, yeah, that's definitely more. We've got, the Deepwoods has more of a rounded shoulder to it, so that's way more stable. It doesn't really bite on the corner. It's better at both things. It is a superior combo. The flat iron with the Famonda is okay. The flat iron is trying. He's doing his best, but that is not the right insert, I don't think. Also, he is on a narrow ringed wheel. I believe those are 20 millimeter inner rings, either 19s or 20s. And this is on a more standard 24 millimeter inner ring. So the tire is acting, there's an enhanced stability to this. Like we can, I can feel that tip coming on much, much earlier. Is it enough to make me ditch my hope of getting flat irons on there in favor of these? Almost, let's be honest, almost. Yeah, I would almost take it. Because, if only he weighed another pound, then we'd have the insert. So instead of randomizing, let's just keep going softer. So we're going to eliminate some of the options. We are going to do the Swamp Claws because those are on Endura greens, but not as good of a compound as either of the tires previously tested. We'll see how that shakes out. And then we will finish on the 1.9 Ruptures, which are on open cell. So they will be the softest and the grabbiest. Yeah. I had to remind myself, these are not clamping hexes. Yeah, the insert is just softer enough. Yeah, I feel like he's right in the sweet spot for the greens. This is a lot of chevron on this tire, Swamp Claw. Which I had said in the past, if the Swamp Claw had been molded in S4 compound instead of S3, they would have an absolute weapon. But we will see. Definitely never used on a IFS trailing arm rig. And this does have the advantage of being Endura tire, Endura insert. Ooh, slippy slidey, whoa! That was not going to be caught. That came right at me. They feel a little greasy. You can see that rear end sliding away. It just hooked on me before. Feels good right there. Digging through, accessing data files. Has the Swamp Claw been tested on this big of an underdrive? That was surprisingly good. Bordering on unbelievably good, that pull right through the end. I think these, and evidenced a little bit by what we saw, I'm gesturing over to the left, what we saw out in the open, this will undoubtedly be the firmest compound. Endura S3 versus C3 from Duratrax versus G8 versus we're going to close on the green. This is the firmest compound, which was evidenced by, it would stay flatter out on the dirt doing, whipping some. We see it here. We get more slip, a little bit less grip, so it kind of trends to a stability. But there are clearly instances where that is not going to, it's not all good. There is definitely a something's gotta give going on. So let me do a very non-pre-runner thing. Okay. All right, Endura, you've almost got it. You've almost got it. And yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. There was a point where I felt us pass where the compound was going to take us. That looked stunningly good on the entry. And then it got to a point where the front tire comes up, okay, over the first lip, no problem. Driver's side pulls us up to there. We get to this lip right here. And we need that tire to bite down a little harder. And I think we just don't have, like, you know, theoretically, if we leave it in this condition right here, just kind of pawing at it, we'll eventually pull it over. I still have good positionability. I don't know. Sway bar might be fighting us a little bit too. We might be in a situation of trailing arm. We're past the limit of the trailing arm. It feels very stable, really stable, even when I'm giving it an excess of beans. It feels pretty properly good. But I'm watching. Here's why I don't think it's exclusively trailing arm. You can kind of, if you watch close on the passenger rear, it will grab, pop, grab, pop, grab, pop. This is not the combo. It's not terrible, nor would I have expected it to be. It's just, this is not the golden ticket. It's okay. But, well, okay, maybe it is the golden ticket. If you're using your pre-runner for pre-runner things and not rock crawling things, these are probably the best. Like, these will handle mud and stuff no problem. These will handle hooning about no problem. So they're not the best for what I want the vehicle to do. Okay, I caught that ball. Can we get the front end to pull on these? All right, okay. He did that better than some. Now I don't know. Are we right back where we started? No, we're gonna put ruptures on it. We're gonna. I could do this. I could do this all day, but we got to. We have to find a point to draw an invisible line. If you can think to way back, the ruptures are mounted on Injora Deeps, the plus 10s. So this should be getting us into the 9 3/4, 9 7/8 wide, somewhere around there. Yeah, feels like rupture's all right. The width feels, I feel the width potentially even more than I feel the increase in grip. Steering response is actually softened. I don't want to say deadened. Yeah, these are also the tallest on the day. The only thing above a class 2. Ooh. Yeah, there's a. I think we just had to get some bench dust off the tires. These will go as the insert keeps getting softer and softer. Imagine our surprise that we are rewarded with more forward drive, and we definitely are. The least amount of steering, again, that is wholly unsurprising. It is an open cell foam. So it's allowing that sidewall to really crush over. Oof. That poor body. That body's gonna get beat to death on this thing anyway. So I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah, this is drive. It's a rupture, of course. But I think at the same time what the rupture is showing us incidentally, as I well, truly and genuinely had no rhyme nor reason to what tires I picked out, to what rim sets. But I guess some hidden part, some part on the inside, it was seeing something, because we have 4 different insert densities, from a firmer, less firm, soft, softer. We have roughly different offsets on all the wheels. The Swamp Claws were on something very close to the flat irons, but these are the widest. The Hot Storms were a little bit wider. I like the width. I like the feel of the width. That 9 3/4, give or take. I seem to tend to shoot for about 10-inch width, track width, 250 millimeters, maybe a little under 10, 250. And 9 feels narrow. I don't think I would be happy on open cell in this over time. We will 3-wheel. Oh, that was the first moment where I've really felt that front skid on the IFS really catching up. He is a surprisingly good descender. And unlike most pure crawling stuff that we build around here, the sprung to unsprung is not great. It's not great because with IFS, pretty much the whole front end is now sprung weight. It's just the A-arms and out is unsprung. So it's a weird ratio, particularly at his lower weight. But I can't say that it doesn't work. It would be very easy to just put ruptures on this. There's a part of me that doesn't think they look right. This guy will settle. When you throttle lift, his tendency is to settle. Instead of transferring, he just goes plop. He just plops down wherever he is. Oh, you know what? I gotta stop self-righting a body that's not painted. And not explicitly because of the lack of paint thing, but because the overspray mask gets like ground into the Lexan and it gets really annoying to remove. Oh, there is a lot of drive in there. I know some of the drive is the tire, but I know some of the drive is also how soft the inserts are. So in my instance, well, okay, we can't say nothing until we know something. And I was going to say he obviously wants a softer insert. This is the softest one, and I kind of like it the best. But we haven't tried to make him go fast. And this insert tire combo might be the soft to the point where he doesn't like it at all. Ooh. No, it's mostly just the height. I know a lot of folk don't like ruptures because they have a very rounded top profile. They look like a bicycle tire. Okay, let's not kick the tripod over. There we go. Whoa. It looks like a mountain bike tire. It's very rounded over on the carcass, and as such, They really tuck over. But no, this IFS trailing arm wants a super soft insert. So it's going to get that. I am going to take one of the Famonda pairs, probably the pair that's already in the flat irons now, and I'm going to dice them up. Because I want him to run flat irons, and I don't think the flat irons have gotten the fullest of fairest of shakes because they were tested on an insert. Also, the flat iron is firmer because of how much lug it is. There's more lug than there is space. It's probably 65-35. I almost said 70-30. It's mostly lug, whereas the Rupture is like the opposite of that. The Rupture is like 30-70. It's like 30% lug and 70% open space. So any insert in a Rupture is going to act softer. So we need to really soften up an insert for a flat iron. We're going to make those flat irons work on here because I love the look of the flat irons. I am now, though, I might like these wheels, or at least the wide offset of these wheels. So the next time you see him after paint, I can't make any promises as to what wheel he's going to be rocking, because I like this width. I like the look of the, 6-spoke? I like the look of the 6-spoke wheel. I like everything about that. Honestly, I don't think the Ruptures look quite right. I don't know if it's that they look too big. I don't know if it's the roundedness of them, and that I prefer the Flatiron's squared edge. So this is where, if there's a place to make sacrifices for vanity, it's in your independent front suspension trailing armed rig that you're going to use for everything, rock crawling and mashing around. I want an all-around, all-purpose tire. And I think in this situation, I think the Flatiron is my guy. I don't really notice how much more ground clearance I'm getting out of the Rupture. I just know that I like the look of the other one better, and I'm willing to accept what it gives me. Now, obviously, you drive towards a rock, and these just do the thing. Yeah. It's kind of crazy how good these crawl on here. So I would say the takeaway of the day is that in honest truth and true honesty, there's no such thing as a rock crawler. A rock crawler is a vehicle that you crawl rocks with. If you can successfully do it, congratulations, what you have is a rock crawler. Because this doesn't have really any of the elements of a rock, other than 18% underdrive. And yet, it's pretty good at it. And overall, it is fun on a bun. So that exceeds all expectations. The missing link. What a guy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a couple days off from the missing link so that I can get some comments in, and then people will make suggestions of things that I hadn't thought of, and then I will be able to implement or remove those things based on their recommendations. It's called crowdsourcing. I'm crowdsourcing all of you, whether you know it or not. Thank you so much for joining us here in the canyon. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. The birds, they chirp. The sun, it shines. The missing link, he does the things. Not just one of the things. I feel like he does all the things. So I hope you're doing a thing that you enjoy. I hope that in between now and when we meet again, you all do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time here from the canyon with whatever thing that we have fixated upon for that particular moment. And yeah, we'll keep doing what we do. IFS trailing arm. I like to say that I build no two exactly alike, and I think this one definitely qualifies as that.